Let's talk about the second among solid principles, the open close principle. The name itself defines with open and close. We are open for extension and close for modification. Now, to understand this principle, we have to understand why we are always going against modification and in favor of extension. In every application code, why we always try to ignore or abstain from modifications and always go in support of extension. Let's see what are the disadvantages and advantages of these two terms. Modification. Let's say we have an application, working code in which there are multiple classes. Class 1 has some particular feature in which we want some extension, or we want to support. In class 1 we want to support a new feature. The first thought comes, if we are not experienced, that we should do the changes in class 1, but there are many disadvantages of doing the same. What disadvantage can happen if we want to do the changes in class 1 in an application which is already working in production? There may be multiple classes which are dependent upon class 1 and using one or the other feature from class 1. If we think the modification is the correct way to support the feature, then we try to modify class 1. But if we are doing the changes in class 1, the classes which are dependent upon this class also need to be changes. This is the reason for, because of one support of feature in one class, we have to do a lot of changes in entire code. This is more error prone, and this also makes the developer's life hell. As much modifications as we do, that much bad quality of the code probability increases. To abstain from all these things and to be smart, we always adapt extension in front of modification. What is the reason behind that? We will talk about in a while when we'll talk on our real life example in an application. Let's talk about extension here. What solution can be there so that dependent classes do not impact and we can also support the new feature? Just put a code or just extend the class 1 in such a way without impacting the class 1's code so that the new feature can be supported. Let's see how we can implement extension in front of modification. Let us have an example of a code snippet here. You can consider that there is a library who sells physical books and e-books, and now in future they realize that they should also sell the audiobooks as the demand of the audiobooks increases in the market. But on the other side, they also don't want to disturb their application code which is already working fine. This is the main purpose behind open close principle. Let's see how open close principle can be followed here without touching any working code, how we can extend the code further. Let's say there is a class X want to fetch the price of a physical book. It directly fetch the method get price from physical book class. Now if we want to support audiobook within physical book, how we are going to do that? Let's think upon that side. Get price need to find out which type it should be returning the price of. Type can be a physical book or type can be an audio book which we want to support. Based on what type is coming, the code should return the price. But to do so, class X has to pass the type variable, which is a modification in class X. This is not acceptable in any cost if we want to be a better quality application. We have taken a small example. There can be more dependency of physical book class. Then what solution can be there? You can pause the video right now and can think about it. We can make a new class, that is audiobook, in which we can implement its own get price method, and that get price method which will definitely be returning the audiobooks price. The part of application code which want to fetch the audiobook class will accordingly create the object and fetch the data. By creating this audiobook class, we are not touching any working code and we are extending it. This is the meaning of extension. I hope you are able to understand now why we are always going to ignore modification, or we are never in support with modification. We give the priority to extension if it is possible, because extension is good to support new features. I hope you are enjoying all these learnings. To continue learning, you can follow us on LinkedIn, where we put our study material about all the lectures. You can also subscribe and press the bell icon. I will see you in the next video where we'll talk about Liskov substitution principle. Till then, have a good day.